Divination Phase 2. The third ray of 13 elemental rays explained. Before time had a name, the third ray ignited. Not of fire, not of war, but of sight. It was divination. The power to see beyond the veil. From its light, a new realm was born. A world not built for bodies, but for vision. This is the story of the acid fields, where everything that ever was, and everything that will be, is laid bare. It's all the hidden truths, and the secrets of time. This was its realm. The acid fields. An endless plain of glowing yellow earth, where rivers of liquid light flowed like acid. Nothing grew here to hide behind. No trees, no shadows. Only a vast, beautiful, terrifying openness. The air itself shimmered with knowledge. Under a saffron sky, the world waited to be seen. And above it all, the sky was alive. It was not empty. It was filled with the eyes of light. Not creatures, but consciousness. Ancient observers made of pure divya drishti, divine sight. In the Hindu traditions, they call this darshan, to see and be seen by the divine. Here, you were always seen. This was the law of the third ray. Nothing could be hidden. In the acid fields, a stone remembered being a mountain, a thought remembered being a lie. Past, future, truth, all visible at once. It was a place of absolute honesty. For those who sought truth, it was liberation. For those who kept secrets, it was terror. And so the realm chose its people, the seers, yogis and rishis, born with the gift of Trikala Dashi, the ability to see the three times. They wore simple saffron cloth, marked by a glowing bindi of light upon their brow, the symbol of the opened Ajna chakra. They did not need to look, they simply knew. They understood that you didn't see with your eyes, but you saw with your heart. Their sight was not fortune-telling. It was understanding. They saw how all actions are threads. In Hindu belief, this is karma. Every deed sends a ripple through time. The seers could follow the ripple from its beginning to its end. They could see a kindness done 1,000 years ago, blooming as peace today. They could follow the strands of time and see where it would lead in the future. Then, on a day that was like all days, they all saw it. At the exact same second, a vision that did not belong. A crack in the perfect light, a shadow where no shadow could exist. For the first time in eternity, the seers of divination saw something they did not want to see. They saw a flaw that shouldn't exist. They saw betrayal. Not a battle from without, but a breaking from within. A bond between the rays, sacred and ancient, would be severed. A brother would turn. A promise would be broken. And from that single act, the light of all rays would dim. The future they saw was not of war but of loneliness, of loss of the harmony that was. The seers convened the Council of Sight. For 9 days and 9 nights they searched the vision, looking for another interpretation. In the Vedas, even the worst prophecy has a door for action. They looked for that door. They looked for hope. They found none. The betrayal was not a possibility. It was a certainty, already written in the threads of time. What do you do when you know the end? The seers made a choice. They would leave their transparent world. They would carry their terrible truth to the other rays, even if it was hopeless. Dharma demanded they try. Truth must be spoken, even if no one wishes to hear it. So they opened the gateways. They left their transparent world of Dharma and entered the world of chaos, where only change is constant. They became messengers, crossing from the realm where everything is visible into realms where beings hid behind titles, armor, and pride. They walked without fear. For a seer who has seen the end of everything, what is there to fear from a king? But they underestimated the Tainted One. Even though they crossed from a world where everything was visible Fae, he could still hide strands Fae. And nobody listened. The ray of fire called them fear mongers. The ray of water called them joy killers. The ray of technology faced cybernetics, demanded proof that cannot exist for a future that has not happened yet. When you tell a happy man his house will fall, he does not thank you. He calls you a liar and locks his door. For most people do not want to hear the truth. They prefer to live in a lie. This is the curse of divination. To see clearly in a world that loves to be blind, the seers return to the acid fields, not defeated, but weary. In Hindu thought, this is the weight of the rishi, the sage who sees the Kali Yuga coming, the age of forgetting, and can do nothing but watch and remember, because those who do not want to accept the truth are blind, and those who know the truth and accept it are few. If no one would hear them, they would write. If the future would not be changed, it would be recorded. In the heart of the acid fields, they built the library of what will be, every vision of the coming betrayal, carved into yellow crystal that acid could not dissolve, that time could not erase, a message for all that come after, that the seers tried to warn everyone of the truth. Even the realm itself mourned. The eyes of light that had watched forever without blinking began to weep. A rain of liquid light fell upon the acid fields for the first time. It was not water, it was memory. The realm knew what was coming. It too could see beyond time. For the realm had its own consciousness, and so the universe of understanding felt the loss that was coming. So the seers sat, one last time, together. They did not meditate to change the future. They meditated to accept it, to hold compassion for the betrayers, for the betrayed, for all beings who would suffer from one broken promise. Their combined light formed a Mahayantra, a great instrument of peace, shining into a universe that was about to forget peace, and remembered for those who would forget. And then, far beyond their borders, it began. No sound reached the acid fields, no messenger came, but they felt it. A thread in the great web snapped, the seers opened their eyes. They did not need to say it. Their vision had come true, the rise of the Chaos King had begun. Unknown to the other rays, the Rainbow Chaos King had started his declaration of being the one true God. Worlds fell, thrones crumbled. The other rays went silent, but the acid fields remained. Acid does not burn truth, it reveals it. The rivers still flowed, the eyes still watched. And in the library, the record remained, waiting for anyone who would one day seek to understand why. No one listened to the warning. No one heard the truth. Why no one prepared to prevent the betrayal? But divination does not end with an ending. If you can see the past and present, you can also see further, far beyond the betrayal, beyond the long darkness. The seers saw a second vision, a child of the fields with a new sight. Not just yellow, but all colors. And in her sight, a circle remade, a promise reborn. The third ray is not gone. It lives wherever someone dares to see the truth. In you, when you see past a lie. In you, when you see the consequence of an action before you take it. In you, when you speak a truth no one wants to hear. We are all seers of the acid fields, and the question is not whether we will see the future. It is whether we will have the courage to act on what we see. This is the end of divination. Phase 2. The third ray of 13 elemental rays explained. Next we will go into the fire. Phase 2. The fourth ray of 13 elemental rays explained. You will learn about the Incan and purification destruction, controlled conflict, and how their society functions. Thank you for listening. And if you enjoy, like and subscribe.